Book summary by Teddy Bear's Storytime. Get the background, a detailed book summary, key themes, analysis, and a thoughtful conclusion. Don't just read it, experience it. The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan is the first book in Trials of Apollo. Start with Apollo, the magnificent Greek god of the sun, music, and prophecy, is cast down to earth by his father Zeus as punishment for his role in the recent war with Gaia. He wakes up as a flabby, acne-ridden, and helpless mortal teenager named Lester Papadopoulos. To earn his return to Mount Olympus, he must perform a series of trials, restoring the corrupted, silent oracles that prevent the gods from communicating with the world. Book summary. The Fall and the First Rescue. The newly human Apollo, Lester Papadopoulos, crashes dramatically into a trash-filled alley in New York City. He is immediately accosted by two thuggish-looking serpent creatures, the Blemai. He is rescued by a mysterious 12-year-old girl named Meg McCaffrey, a seemingly inexperienced demigod who can summon fruits as weapons. Through a ritual of allegiance, Meg binds Apollo to herself as her servant, meaning Apollo is forced to obey her commands. The two are found by Percy Jackson, who reluctantly drives them to the supposed safety of Camp Half-Blood. During the journey, they encounter Leo Valdez and the dragon Festus, who have just returned from their final mission with Calypso, providing a brief but joyful interlude before the main problems begin. Camp Half-Blood under siege. Upon arriving at Camp Half-Blood, Apollo is horrified by his mortal state and the terrible conditions plaguing the camp. The Oracle of Delphi is silent, the campers are disappearing, and the borders are frequently breached by the monster forces of the enemy. The camp is being terrorized by the Blemai. The immediate threat is discovered to be tied to an ancient, corrupted Roman corporation known as Triumvirate Holdings, run by three immortal, tyrannical Roman emperors, Nero, Commodus, and Caligula. These emperors are systematically taking over the ancient oracles to consolidate power and ensure the gods remain voiceless. The specific target at Camp Half-Blood is the Grove of Dodona, the oldest oracle, which must be found and cleansed. The quest for the grove. Chiron, the activities director, assigns Apollo and Meg the task of finding the Grove of Dodona, located somewhere deep within the chaotic labyrinth beneath the camp. They are given a cryptic hint that they must listen for the voice of the wood. Their journey through the labyrinth reveals the terrifying power of the Triumvirate. They learn that the disappearances at camp are due to Nero capturing demigods to use as hostages and slave labor. During their search, they encounter Nico di Angelo and Will Solace, who help them navigate the dangers, though Nico warns Apollo about the perilous path ahead. Apollo realizes that the Grove of Dodona is not a physical place but a sentient tree that has been corrupted and hidden by the presence of a dark force. Confronting Emperor Nero. Apollo finally discovers that Meg McCaffrey is not just a random demigod but the adopted, abused daughter of Emperor Nero, the corporate CEO and one of the Triumvirate. Nero had sent Meg to Camp Half-Blood specifically to capture Apollo. In the depths of the labyrinth, Apollo and Meg confront Nero and his forces. Nero reveals that he has taken control of the Grove of Dodona and plans to steal its prophetic power for himself. Nero is cruel and manipulative, and his abusive treatment of Meg pushes the young demigod past her breaking point. Meg, realizing the depths of Nero's evil, dramatically breaks the master-servant bond she held over Apollo and turns against her adoptive father. Apollo, inspired by Meg's bravery and desperation, manages to connect with the essence of his former self through music, calling upon the power of the Dryads and Melii, nymphs, to aid them. Victory and the new prophecy. In the final chaotic battle, Meg and Apollo, supported by the nature spirits, manage to defeat Nero's personal guards and force the emperor to retreat, saving the captured demigods. They successfully cleanse and restore the Grove of Dodona, which, instead of offering a clear path, grants them a series of messy, confusing, but legitimate prophecies. These prophecies lay out the full scope of Apollo's quest. He must retrieve the remaining oracles from the other two emperors, and ultimately, face the giant serpent Pithon to restore the Oracle of Delphi. Apollo, having endured true hardship and gained humility, accepts the long, painful journey ahead. He and Meg leave Camp Half-Blood, ready to face the world as a team, starting their travels in Indianapolis. Themes: redemption and humility. Apollo's central lesson is forced humility. Stripped of his godly power, he must overcome his enormous ego, learn empathy, and rely on mortals to survive and begin earning back his divinity. Abuse and agency is also crucial, shown through Meg McCaffrey finding the courage to break free from her abusive adoptive father, Emperor Nero. Analysis: God-to-human reversal. Apollo's complete lack of power forces a comedic yet poignant reliance on mortal skill, driving the plot. Roman antagonists establishes the three historical Roman emperors as terrifyingly immortal and power-hungry corporate villains. Meg's complexity introduces a morally grey protagonist, whose loyalty and actions are dictated by deep-seated trauma and manipulation. Prophetic setup. The book sets the long-term goal of restoring 5 oracles, making the quest expansive and daunting for the remainder of the series. Tone shift. The narrative, while humorous, integrates darker themes of child abuse and emotional torment, maturing the series' tone. Conclusion: the hidden oracle effectively begins Apollo's painful trial, stripping the arrogant god down to the mortal, pitiable Lester Papadopoulos. His first success is a testament to his newfound alliance with the conflicted demigod Meg McCaffrey, who ultimately finds the courage to defy her abusive adoptive father, Emperor Nero. By restoring the Grove of Dodona, Apollo secures the first oracle and receives the chaotic instructions for his path forward, confirming the massive scope of the Triumvirate threat. Humbled by his mortality and the compassion shown by the campers, Apollo accepts his mission alongside Meg, knowing his survival depends less on his former divine status and more on the human courage he must now discover within himself. The end. What did you think about this book? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Teddy Bear's Storytime, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our next magical adventure. More amazing book summaries are coming your way, so stay tuned and keep the love for stories alive. See you in the next one.